With me on Double Eagle Golf Podcast is Coach Jeff Roope from the University of Toledo. This is Coach Roope's 8th year at the program helm, where he's won the Coach of the Year in the MAC. He's had multiple all-conference players. Just had one of the best players in conference history come through. And is it Baron Bolfa? Did I get the name right?
Yeah, it changes minute to minute for me. It's Baron. He answers to either one of them.
The main point is he's good. He's
He's
very
very
good,
good.
folks. And so anyway, he set several MAC records. But this year, you have, Coach, you have all kinds of great things happening with your program. How do you do, and what's going on with University of Toledo men's golf?
Doing fantastic. The young men are just coming back to campus as we speak right now. And as you can imagine, they've been out on the road playing golf tournaments across the world over the summertime. So they're getting better. While the cameras are not on them, while there's no rankings in the clip scoreboard or anything, they are doing their work right now. So they should all be back on campus by this Sunday, and things start in earnest on Monday.
Well, that is fantastic. Do you give your players kind of some homework in the off season? Like where they know they have some things to work on in their golf game, and where you've coached them up, you and your staff have for the previous year, or what you've seen if they're incoming players.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of running dialogues with our players throughout the course of the season, what they might need to work on, what they are working on with their instructors, what they're working on with their mental coaches, what they might be working on from a strength and conditioning standpoint. So they've got a game plan. We've got 9 guys on the team, but it's a little bit different than, a basketball team or a football team where you're trying to coordinate the interaction between them. Each one of them comes with an individualized plan, basically, on how they're going to be better because they swing it different. They're different sizes. They shape the ball differently. How they get the ball in the hole is different. So we do, one of the things that we do the most is really just encourage them to compete and compete and compete again and again and again, because that competition, there's no substitute in golf for teeing it up when it matters and making a 5-foot putt when it really matters.
Mm-hmm.
They can do all the work they want to on the range, but when you get in competition, it's completely different. So during the summertime, they spend a lot of time competing at high levels as an individual around the world.
And speaking about around the globe, the University of Toledo Rockets, your roster is no different than many in college golf. They come from all over, not only Ohio and Michigan, but they come from all over the world.
You bet. Yeah, we'll take every good player we can that's right in our backyard, but that doesn't always mean it's going to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
we have searched the globe far and wide to find the guys that we have. Like you mentioned, Baron Botha. Baron is from South Africa. His brother NJ was from South Africa. Their friend was a really good player for us, CJ Van Vyk, was from South Africa. I've got 2 Hungarians. Hungary, they might be 2 of the only people that play at that level in Hungary, to be quite honest with you. They are excellent players. We've got a German player who's on a plane right now on the way back here. We have a player from the Netherlands. So, we'd like to have all the top players from the state of Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, surrounding areas, but golf is a global sport nowadays, and so you can find good players around the world.
Yeah, you've certainly hit on that very well. And one of the players that you hit on is a transfer this year, Solomon Petrie. Tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, Solomon is one of those guys. With the transfer portal works in mysterious ways nowadays, and we tried to recruit Solomon when he was a freshman. He was a 2-time All-American, junior golf All-American with the AJGA, played in all the big Rolex events, got attracted to an SEC school, went to Kentucky, and like so many other places, it might not be the right fit. They went through a coaching change, all that kind of stuff. And so the portal is giving him a new lease on life, basically, and allowing him to come back a little closer to home. His mom is a MAC graduate. He understands, the world of the MAC. Grew up in Akron. One of the freshmen coming in this year was his teammate when he was a freshman at Akron Hoban High School,
Mm-hmm.
and so it just ended up being the right fit. And I just got off the phone with him. He's so excited. He's going to be here on Friday. He's been playing a great summer schedule. I mean, he's a talented individual that I think, with the door open for him now, I think he's just going to sprint right through it.
Yeah. How important is it when you're talking to players? I mean, obviously you're recruiting them on their academics, their character, how well you think they're gonna fit in on their team. Do any of the players talk at all about PGA University, or is that something that's kind of off and down the road?
They all want to be PGA Tour members,
Sure.
or they want to play on the European Tour, the DP World Tour. Um, they all want to play at that next level. They're all signed up with PGA Tour University, or the PGA University, yeah, PGA Tour University. They're all signed up. They all want to achieve at that level. Um, that's their goal. So they're playing Monday qualifiers. They're looking at the next level. They're watching everything that Barn does because Barn has gone through situations with visas and travel and sponsors and everything else. So they've got their eye on the next level, and they want to chase it as long as they possibly can, and hopefully it'll work out for some of them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You have to shoot high because if you don't, it's that rarely does the ladder at the low level ever get you up high. So you got to start high and go from there. A couple players you'd like to brag on this year, whether they're upperclassmen or players that you've seen that just exemplify the University of Toledo Rocket program under Coach Roope.
Yeah. I tell you, we've got a local player who is from Perrysburg. He's actually went to Perrysburg High School, was an all-state tennis player, a fantastic golfer as well. His name is Mason Deal. And Mason is going to be a fourth-year University of Toledo member, but this is going to be his third year golf-wise. So he's a junior eligibility-wise. And he's one of those young men who just came in and said, okay, listen, I dominated the Toledo Junior Golf Association at the small level, but now I got to figure out how to get better at the big level and play big events.
Mm-hmm.
And he's worked diligently now for 3 years to be ready for this moment. I think this is his moment. He qualified for the Porter Cup this summer. The Porter Cup at Niagara Falls is one of, the majors of amateur golf throughout the summertime. He was one shot out of qualifying for the Monroe. He was top 10 at the Northern Amateur. So he's put that in front of him and said, I'm going to attack the big events. He's working with a couple of instructors. His sister plays at Florida Gulf Coast. It's a golfing family that, sets their expectations really high. So he's a story that's on the opposite side from maybe the guys who you get out of the portal. This is a guy who spent 4 years with us now. This will be his fourth year. And has really just worked and worked and worked to find his spot. So we're excited for Mason this year. And then
So he's Toledo tough, no doubt about that.
he is
Rocket
Toledo tough. Yeah.
All right. I love hearing that. We're going to take a 30-second break, and on the flip side, we're going to talk about some of the teams to beat in the MAC and also your schedule. Boy, I'll tell you, you're ducking everybody with that schedule. I was looking at it. Woo! Big Ten, MAC, you're all over the country. You're taking on all comers. We're going to have that for you next. This is Roy J. Akers for the High Bank Fury podcast. We are found multiple times weekly where we talk to NASCAR drivers, cover stories, and those that shape the sport. This is not just another podcast. We get exclusive content, talk fantasy NASCAR racing, and spill the news before other media outlets drop their take. We are on all podcast channels, the YouTube channel, and can be found on skyviewsports.net. Check out High Bank Fury, the podcast, today. With us on the Double Eagle Golf Podcast, care of www.skyviewsports.net, I have Jeff Roope, Coach Roope of the University of Toledo. Has an outstanding golf team coming up this year. We've been talking about some of the players, where he gets them, and a whole lot more. Now we're going to turn our attention to the MAC itself. Who are the 2 or 3 teams that you think are the teams to beat? And if you get around them, the road's going to run through Toledo.
It's interesting. The MAC has gotten so much better collectively since I got here, 8 years ago. The MAC really it's developed a lot of really good players. Last year, I told one of my administrators last year, they asked me who the favorite was, and I said, there are 6 teams that could win the MAC. And sure enough, those 6 teams finished 1 through 6 in the MAC. Kent State's been the perennial powerhouse for years. Kent State under her page was there for 40 years, I think. It built a program that's produced PGA professionals. Um, he is left it in good hands with John Mills and his group. So the Kent State program is always one to look out for. Ben Curtis's son is coming to play for them this year. They've got a really good player out of Canada as well. They're talented. I like what J.D. Fletcher has done at Miami, Ohio. Miami of Ohio has really blossomed under his leadership. He recruits really hard. They're a very solid program. Ball State has won the MAC. Northern Illinois has won the MAC recently. Their teams are really good. Eastern Michigan went out of their way to really turn that program into a golf school. And they hired Andy Walker and Ryan Yip, who was an assistant coach at Kent State, and have really taken on a different profile. So once again, I think the MAC is going to be a really tough conference. But from the MAC standpoint, that means we can recruit a little bit better. And maybe the MAC gets more than one team out of the MAC to the NCAA regionals coming up. And I think as a conference, we're hoping for that.
Yeah, wouldn't that be absolutely fantastic to get at least 2 or 3 schools into the NCAA regional? And if you can advance to the final, then I mean, there's a lot of building blocks because you got the stroke play, you got the match play, you've got the team match play and all that. There's a lot going on.
Yes.
And so, thank you so much, Coach Roope. And just one little tidbit. How will you guys be up there into the MAC championship? Can you give us 1 or 2 things you think has to happen this year?
Yeah, I mean, consistency is it in golf. Consistency is it because you're gonna start playing in August and September, and you got to be good when it comes to late April as well. So it's just being consistent, consistency on the golf course too. So it's not just 2 good rounds, it's 3 good rounds. It's not just one good tournament, it's multiple good tournaments. The ranking system, for us, it's a little bit different. The ranking system runs from the very first time we tee it up all the way through April. So, we're not talking about a spring schedule that doesn't count or a fall schedule that doesn't count. We just that level of consistency and just really adhering to, I know this is very cliche, but the process and sticking to the daily routines. We need to do our work in the weight room. We need to do our work on the golf course. We need to do our work with our mental coaches and everything else that contributes to that consistency.
Okay. Finally, on the other side of this 30, we're going to talk about some key tournaments on the University of Toledo Rockets schedule. Boy, it's a dandy of a schedule. And Coach Roope, I don't think you'd have it any other way. We're going to have that for you in 30.
NASCAR but don't know who to root for? Toyota's got you covered. This guy went from dirt tracks to cup cars. This new kid is all gas, no brakes. And him, just a 3-time Daytona winner, no big deal. That's just a taste of our team of legends. Now you're up to speed. You in?
With us, Coach Roope from the University of Toledo Rockets. He's in his 8th season, coached All-American players. You've coached, I should say, all-conference players in that. You've got a lot going on. Your program just seems to get better and better every year. Let's talk about that schedule because that's what's gonna determine the when the stuff hits the fan, so to speak. Tell us about some of your key tournaments because I know you have to get up for all of them, but some of them I'm sure you really want to wet your whistle on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I tell you, the one thing that really helps us with the scheduling is the Inverness Intercollegiate, which we run every 2 years, and being able to play at Inverness and have that reciprocal feature that the Inverness Intercollegiate allows us. So you come to our tournament, we go to your tournament, which means we can really schedule as aggressively as we want to. We played Tennessee, the very first event this year at University of Tennessee, and that event is going to be filled with Power 4 teams. I mean, we're going to see the U.S. amateur runner-up is going to be on Tennessee's team this year. It's going to be a really good event. And we mix in trips to Wisconsin this year. We go down to Kentucky this year as well. We'll stay local as well a little bit. We're going to play at Oakland. We're going to play Dayton. They're good events for the guys to sort of, be able to really play good golf, but not too far from home. But then we go down to Stetson to start the spring, and all the southern schools will be down there. That'll be a great event. we swapped the Inverness Intercollegiate with Loyola Marymount. So Loyola Marymount comes in 26. Well, we go to their event this coming spring. Their event will be, last year it was top 10 in the country. So we're talking about Oklahoma and Oklahoma State and
Oh,
Arizona
wow.
State and Arizona, every big boy you can think of. So the guys are going to have a chance to play. At our event last year, we played with Gordon Sargent from Vanderbilt and Jackson Coyven from Auburn and Ben
Yeah.
James from Virginia. You get to see all these guys who now are, flourishing at the professional ranks. My guys get to see it up close and say, okay, let's see where we match up. So for us, I mean, that's how you get better. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best, which
Yeah.
means you got to play with the best. So we're very excited about our schedule.
And with that, yeah, your schedule is outstanding. Playing in, you're playing all over the country. You got your home event and that is super. And also last year, I think I saw you guys. I was at Oakland University. I was at the Khaki Cousins course. I believe that you guys were there, and so I was capturing some of the teams. I don't know if I'll be able to do that this year. But we'll see if I'd like to go because it's only 10 miles from where I live.
There
So
you go.
it's not a tough one. And of course, Oakland University, they have a new coach this year. But they still run a great event. Jeff Roope, who is the PGA pro at Khaki Cousins, he's actually going to be on our show coming up here pretty quick. And so we're not ducking anybody either. We have Colonel
Good.
Rooney coming on, Jack Nicholas. We've had different people coming on. So we've been very, very lucky. We'll talk to Colonel Rooney, I think, this weekend at the Ally Challenge. And with
Interesting
that,
side note too, real quick. I don't know if you know, the new coach at Oakland is married to the new coach at Toledo, the women's coach at Toledo.
well,
There you go.
hopefully I can talk to this fella because I've sent emails and all that. And so hopefully we'll be able to get that going here very,
There
very
you go.
soon.
Good.
In that. Well, there you go. See, golf is a small world. You got to be
Amen.
careful because everybody seems to know everybody in one way or another. Coach Roope, thank you for taking about 10, 12 minutes with us today. I hope that during the course of the season that we can have you come back. One of my goals is, and I'm just going to throw out a little birdie thing out here, even though we're kind of still recording, is that with the women, it looks like I'll be doing a Zoomcast with 2 to 4 of the women's coaches, only talking women's NCAA golf. They're gonna talk. They're gonna set the agenda. I'm gonna be the Monty Hall. I'll be the ringmaster, and hopefully with the men, we'd like to do the same thing so that coaches can brag on players and issues and rankings and great tournaments and just talk about the game itself and how it's evolved because television is coming in here. And by you playing in some of these different events, you're going to probably get to play on TV at some point this year, aren't you?
Yeah, well, with the Inverness event, we've broadcast that the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, we'll get to play on everything from College Golf Network to ESPN Plus. I don't know if we've got a golf channel event this year, but yeah, I mean it's become so much more prominent and easy to broadcast. Easily, we'll play at least a couple of times on a broadcast event.
All right. Coach Roope, University of Toledo, thank you so much for coming on and hit them long and straight instead of long and wrong like some people I know. Thank you.
Thank you.